It is really my great pleasure to join this very important conference and share a few thoughts on new education for a new era. I'm actually sitting in Melbourne at the Brahma Kumaris Retreat Centre. The Brahma Kumaris have about 40 centres around this country. And for many years have really been, I would say, offering a new education for a new era. And I feel seeing our world recently, even though most of us have university degrees, but we feel there is definitely a new learning that our world needs. And I feel that there's probably 3 types of education that we need for a full life, a whole life these days. The first, I would say, is the education for the intellect. Sometimes perhaps we would call it our IQ, and this is really what we experience at school for many years. This education is so important because it gives me an intelligence to pass exams, create a career, make money. And this is a very important aspect of life. But if I feel anxious, if I feel depressed, if I feel afraid, if I feel stressed, if I feel even hopeless about myself, does this sort of education or wisdom help me? I don't think so. The second type of education I would say that is very important for life is the education of, shall we say, emotional intelligence, which I would say is the intelligence to build rich, loving relationships with others. How important is this in life? I often say to leaders, you may have all the skills. You may have an MBA, a Master's of Business Administration, but the best leader is a leader who has emotional intelligence, has the wisdom, the intelligence to read other people and know what they need, know how to respond. Actually, mothers are often the best at emotional intelligence. They can read other people and know what they need. And this is why often I find mothers are sometimes the most powerful leaders today. But once again, we might have emotional intelligence. We might have a good education in that, if I can say that, in the classroom of life. But if I feel rejected, if I don't feel loved, if I don't feel respected or valued, does this intelligence help or education? I don't think so. The education we need for the new era, I would say, is spiritual education, spiritual intelligence. And I'm sure all of you would agree with me. If emotional intelligence is the wisdom to build rich, loving relationships with others, I would say spiritual intelligence is the wisdom to build a rich, loving relationship with me. I would say this is absolutely the most important thing in our world today. Look at our dysfunctional planet. Look at the chaos, the increasing chaos and dysfunction out in the world. Where does it begin? It begins in each human being in the relationship of me with me. The first relationship in life is with me. If this relationship is unhealthy, it honestly pollutes my health. It pollutes my relationships in the family. It pollutes my performance in the workplace. And together, 7.8 billion human beings, if all of them have an unhealthy relationship with ourselves, what happens in the world? I've been associated with the Brahma Kumaris now for 45 years, and this university is teaching a new education for a new era. And it actually is teaching me to know who I am and experience who I am. And what I was taught when I started this new education was that there's 3 personalities inside of me. 2 of them make me peaceless. 2 of them make me negative. 2 of them increase the dysfunction of me and the world around me. But one of them, one new education actually begins a foundation of a new world and a new era. The first personality is the I of arrogance. It's my ego, which comes from my temporary identity of my body. When this rules my inner world, I compare, I think I'm better, I know more. When it comes into my feelings, I feel insulted, disrespected, not valued, excluded. I would say sensitive. And so when I'm feeling these feelings, know my ego is ruling in my inner system. The second I is the I of lack of self-respect, the I of disheartenment, the inverted ego, if you can say. This I is ruling our planet at the moment. And this I also takes this whole sense of identity from my temporary body. And when this I is ruling, I compare and I think I'm no good, I'm hopeless, others are better. And when it comes into my feelings, that's when I feel inadequate, inferior, depressed. And this is why we go up and down, because our education has told us that I'm a temporary body and these are the two children. What the Brahma Kumaris teach is, who am I? Not just that I'm a soul, but deeply how to experience. And when I experience myself as a soul, I come back to a place in myself where I feel completely peaceful. And I learn the art of letting go the consciousness of all my labels, whether it be of gender, of nationality, of religion, and establishing, experiencing who I am. And when I experience who I am, the fragrance of my mind colors me, my family, and my world. When many of us begin to change and have this new education, we become instruments to create a new era in this world. So I really hope all the deliberations of the conference are very special, and I hope that all of us come together with this new learning, this new spiritual learning to create a new era. Thank you so much, and greetings from Australia to everyone participating in this conference. Thank you.